Impulsive. It means likely to do something suddenly and unthinkingly, doing something without thought. Let me give you a few examples. I have a friend who's decided to take a holiday. I don't have the same resources in terms of time or money, but I jump in because I feel that I will somehow or the other manage. Why have I been so thoughtless? Well, I'll come to that. Then there is someone else who works in a professional company and has to report to a boss. Realizes that the boss can be quite annoying. Somehow or the other, over time, the boss begins to get under that person's skin. The person, without thinking and realizing that there is no plan in his or her next job, decides to quit. What does he or she do? Impulsively throw away something which is actually giving them benefit, albeit having to struggle somewhat to manage their boss. Then there are some who make a lot of money on the stock market. I decide to join their syndicate, knowing very well that it is not because of their ability or their skill sets, but rather because of the contacts for insider trading that they have. However, I forget that I don't have the same risk appetite like them, and often the risks that I take by joining their syndicate goes wrong and I lose my wealth. In all these three examples, these are indicators of impulsive action without enough thought. In the first, jumping in to take that holiday, knowing very well that the resources are limited, both in terms of time and money. Why does a person do this? Because they find it hard to acknowledge that they're not in the same level. Now, many people say acknowledging means being defeatist. No, accepting where you are in life, whether in terms of time and or money, is a very wise thing to do. What happens to the second person? He or she is unable to tolerate the discomfort of what may be a possibly toxic boss. But if you know that you need certain things in life, it is better to dig in our heels and bear it. Bear it because there is no other choice. Again, someone will say that that's being very defeatist. But many a time, it is better to be pragmatic and take ourselves forward rather than to keep jumping around from the frying pan into the fire. And the third, doesn't accept his or her temperamental disposition, fears missing out on making the loads of money that his or her friends have made simply on the basis of tips and insider trading, doesn't want to digest his or her own temperament. Can you see that in all three examples, lack of acceptance of reality, inability to bear discomfort, and inability to accept one's own temperament has made them throw caution to the wind and done things which are unfortunately impulsive and possibly going to get them into a mess. So if you want to prevent your impulsivity, accept reality. Accepting reality is not being defeatist, it is being actually true to what is. 2. Learn to dig your heels in and learn pragmatism. Yes, sometimes we may be cornered with certain needs. It is better to accept that than to constantly be positive. And 3, embrace your personality. If you are conservative, cautious, and volatility and risk-taking, especially reckless risk-taking, is not your style, do not jump into doing something needlessly. I do believe if you keep these 3 factors in mind, you will be far less impulsive, reckless, and taking unnecessary leaps of faith to give yourself a stable, solid life that you want. If you like what you hear, please do hit the like button, please do share my video, and of course, continue to write to me at varkha@varkhachulani.com. Till next week, it's goodbye and thank you.